What's going on today? This is Motorious, and today we have another exciting video because day 2 of the Stage 3 playoffs just went down. We had Seoul Dynasty against the San Francisco Shock, and we had the LA Valiant against the Hangzhou Spark. Both games were absolutely insane, and I'm going to break down and recap exactly what happened. But before I do, make sure you smash this like button because it really means a lot to me, and we are going to be working so hard to provide the best Overwatch League content for you guys. So without further ado, let's start this breakdown and let's go over the first game of the night. We had the Seoul Dynasty against the San Francisco Shock, who won the last stage playoffs. Going into the first map, Oasis, you would probably think that the reigning Stage 2 champions, the San Francisco Shock, would take it on King of the Hill. However, it was the opposite. The Seoul Dynasty took Oasis 2-1, absolutely shocking the casters, shocking the crowd, and shocking the Shock themselves. Going over to Nobani, the San Francisco Shock answer right back as they normally do and beat the Seoul Dynasty 3-2 on Volskaya Industries. Another close match. Coming out of halftime, the Shock take that 3-2, and on Dorado, it went to overtime. It was super close, basically a minute to a minute 25 for both attacks. However, the San Francisco Shock pushed the payload farther than the Seoul Dynasty, taking it 4-3. So overall, the series score was 3-1. The San Francisco Shock will move on to the semifinals, and the Seoul Dynasty are officially out of the playoffs. Now, the San Francisco Shock had a really interesting strategy. They're actually sticking with their GOATS comp with their triple tank and triple DPS, and they're straying away from the Sombra. They believe that they do not need to play Sombra. The only time they did play Sombra was on one map. Volskaya Industries and Sinatra was playing it. However, other than that, they stuck with their 3 tank and 3 support comp. It's interesting because the Shock are one of the only teams to run Baptiste in their support core. However, they're also playing Mora, they're playing Lucio, and they're playing Zenyatta, so they're really trying out these different supports, and it's working for them. Chiahobin's playing his Diva, Sinatra's predominantly playing Zarya, but he did play Sombra that one time, and Super is playing his Reinhardt, or sometimes he plays Monkey. However, on the Seoul Dynasty side, they're kind of adopting what everybody else is, and that's that Sombra. It's the Pharah, it's all the DPS heroes, but they're also sticking to the strategy of playing tanks like they did on Nubani. For example, Marvel played Reinhardt, Michelle played Zarya, and Jeske and Ryu Zhang played Zenyatta and Lucio. So they're still playing that GOATS comp with the Sombra, and they're also playing that DPS comp that everyone seems to be playing. Now, yesterday I said that the Shanghai Dragons were one of the best teams in the game because they're the ones who adopted the Sombra strategy first, so now it makes sense that they're ahead of the curve. However, the Shock did not adopt this strategy yet, but they were one of the first teams to go to the training camp on how to defend it. Moth, Violet, and Rascal are probably some of the best supports in the game, especially Violet and Moth using their defense ults at the perfect time. They did absolutely amazing not getting EMP'd by Fitz on Seoul Dynasty, and that's something we're seeing more and more in this meta. We're seeing the supports hide with their ultimates, like Lucio hiding with his Beat, Zenyatta hiding with the Transcendence, and then we see the EMP come out, and this is something that we've been seeing since Sombra came out. How do you defend a Sombra? And honestly, all you have to do on the support is not get EMP'd. Simple as that, and the Shock supports are one of the best in the game at defending it. Now, speaking of the Shock supports, one of them were actually the player of the match. Surprisingly, it wasn't Sinatra, it wasn't Super, but it was Rascal, who played Baptiste to his absolute best ability. He had 20,000 damage done, 30,000 healing done, 10 final blows, and 2,500 damage amplified, which came at crucial moments in crucial team fights. He had 9 deaths prevented and only had 11 deaths in the series. Rascal is probably one of the only players in the league who plays Baptiste at a very high level. He used his Matrix to defend against the Sombra. He even harassed the Sombra with his hit scan weapon. He played absolutely amazing, and that's the series. The Shock beat the Seoul Dynasty 3-1, moving on to the semifinals where they will try to regain their crown just like they did in the last stage playoffs. Moving on to the last match of the day and the last match to decide who will be playing in the semifinals of stage 3 playoffs, we had the LA Valiant against the Hangzhou Spark, and boy, it went down to the wire, a game 5. Let's go over the map scores right now. On Ilios, the LA Valiant strike first blood, winning that 2-0. On Hollywood, the Spark answered right back, winning it 3-1. After halftime, Hangzhou Spark come out hot and they win it on Paris 2-1. On Havana, the LA Valiant come back in an absolute thriller 3-1. This is an absolute slugfest. Who's gonna win the final map of Oasis? Well, the first King of the Hill went to the LA Valiant, who won on Ilios. On this King of the Hill Oasis, the Valiant take that 2-0, making the overall score of the match 3-2 in favor of the Valiant. Now, this was a crazy series to end the day off. Both teams had some crazy comps. The Valiant had more crazy DPS comps than the Spark. The Spark predominantly stayed with their GOATS comp with a Winston and a Sombra, but the Valiant were playing around. They had agilities on Pharah, they had Shax on the Sombra, Kusta on Mercy, Factor Fiction played Orisa. They had so many different heroes. They even brought out a Mei, a Widowmaker, so they really experimented and it paid off for them in the end. I believe that the Hangzhou Spark lost because they tried to make too many individual plays. Gosby played a very individual Sombra, which worked out sometimes because he was getting double kills, triple kills, but at the end of the day, the Valiant were winning most of the team fights. Gushui was also trying to dive the Valiant, but it just wasn't working out. Now, KSF, the most was asked of him to adapt his play to beat the Spark, and he rose to the occasion. He was playing an amazing defensive Brigida, trying to keep Gushui away from his support lines, but overall this stage, guys, KSF showed his versatility, playing heroes like Doomfist, Hanzo, Widowmaker, Brigida, and even his Mei in the series, and he played so consistent in this match, he was named the player of the game for his Zarya, another hero he could play. His shots on Mei and Widow was so clean, but let's go over his Zarya stats. He had 32,000 damage done on Zarya, 20 final blows, 53% average energy, 15 Graviton Surge kills, and 59 eliminations. KSF rose to the occasion, and the LA Valiant surprised me, and they might have surprised a lot of you because I thought the Spark was going to take it. This was the first time the Spark would lose a game 5, but no, the Valiant remained valiant, and they rose to the task of beating the Spark, and they came out on top in an absolute thriller of a series. They win it 3-2. Now let's look at the semifinals we have for today at 10 p.m. Eastern. We have the Shanghai Dragons against the Vancouver Titans, and at 1 a.m. we have the LA Valiant against the San Francisco Shock. I believe that these are going to be crazy games. I think the Shanghai Dragons are going to upset the Vancouver Titans. I just believe that their Sombra play is going to be superior to the Vancouver Titans, and with that Sombra, they are going to beat the Titans. Now with the LA Valiant and San Francisco Shock, I actually believe that the LA Valiant would only take one map against the Shock, and the Shock would stomp the LA Valiant, but who knows? I doubted the Valiant before, and maybe I shouldn't doubt them again, but that's going to be the series for today, guys. Can't wait for you guys to watch it, and I'm going to recap the semifinals tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys really like the content, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. My name is Motorius, and this video is brought to you by ESTNN. Have a great day. Peace.